Well, good morning. I'm Paul Mulligan. I'm a fourth-generation Arizonan. My Basque great-grandparents came to Jerome to settle after the San Francisco earthquake in 1906. One of my great-uncles was a shepherd that actually used to walk the sheep from Buckeye up to Flagstaff each summer. And my grandmother was born in Jerome 5 years before Arizona became a state. Arizona has grown and changed quite a bit since then. Yet since our founding during the Great Depression, Catholic Charities has been there to help address social needs and challenges, especially for those living on the margins of society. Our first hired employee back in 1933 was a child welfare worker who successfully advocated for the rights of abandoned children who were being sent to state reformatories. Today, 84 years later, a dedicated professional body of 450 team members and thousands of volunteers touches the life of over 105,000 people annually from central and northern Arizona. With over 20 life-changing, nationally accredited programs, we excel at addressing unmet needs in each community we serve. And we do serve all who are in need, focusing not on race or religion or nationality, but on our common identity as children made in the image and likeness of a loving God. As for my own journey, I've been CEO here at Catholic Charities since 2014. But it was back in the mid-'80s that I first heard the call to serve when some Brophy classmates and I took to the campus to help shed light on injustices that we saw to women and the unborn, immigrants and political prisoners. Later, while stationed overseas in the Navy, I was privileged to work with orphans, refurbish schools, and even help establish a pregnancy center in Guam. But then God called me out of the Navy and into a different kind of mission field. I love serving here at Catholic Charities because we recognize, affirm that sanctity value the dignity of every human being. We embrace people where they are, and we foster hope for them to become who they're meant to be, so that individuals grow, families thrive, and communities flourish. While we share God's love with others, we're humbled to find that God is actually coming to us in the most personal, vulnerable way. What does the face of Jesus look like today? He's right there, visible in the faces of veterans who come to heal in our Manor House shelter, or of the young woman seeking hope in the midst of a crisis pregnancy, or of the persecuted refugee family that's being warmly received by our agency. I love how we provide shelter. I've been on ride-alongs with our outreach team up in Flagstaff. Rick, the team lead, takes his 4x4 through forest roads and delivers supplies and looks after about 80-plus people that are experiencing homelessness off the grid, as they say. On our last ride together, we ran into a couple that was snowed in and stranded. The food and the cold weather gear that we dropped off was a godsend, is what they told us. But better than that was the personal relationship that Rick had with them. They told me that they knew that they were not forgotten, that St. Rick, as they called him, would come for them. Just this past season, Rick and his team found and rescued a guy that was living in an iced-in tunnel who doctors said probably would not have made it to the morning. I love that. I love how we strengthen families. I attended one of our awesome Christmas parties for foster families where I was visiting with a few dozen incredible foster families. I chatted with the newest addition to one family, a troubled teen who had been bounced from home to home over the years. What amazed me was that, although he'd only been in his new home for 3 months, you've never heard someone speak so admiringly and so excitedly about his new dad. Every other sentence, it was, "Dad taught me to do this," or "Dad showed me how to do that." He had a home, he had a life. He was safe and he was loved. Shouldn't this be the experience of every child? I love that. I love how we give youth a future here. If you want to address poverty, the research shows you must build up and strengthen families. We run Head Start early childhood development programs throughout western Maricopa County. I played superhero with our youngsters on the playground. I had one little guy spend his recess diligently packing my shoes with bark. Both shoes. He was very good. And I've actually eaten a few clay pieces of pretend pizza that one kiddo made for me in the classroom. It was a little salty. I know it was not hygienic, but it was worth the laughs. But kids grow through healthy families, so how inspiring to be able to address a couple hundred dads at a father-daughter dance and see these tough guys all dressed up, holding hands, dancing, and talking tenderly with their little sweet princesses all night. with parents who are better equipped to love, to teach, and to serve at home, these little guys and gals in our classrooms have hope for a brighter future. I love that. These are just 3 examples of what support from Catholic Charities looks like. I encourage you to review the annual report at your table, visit our website, or come join us on a tour. We would love to have you. Before I close, let me tell you where we're headed and what it will take to get there. We're one team committed to growth and high-impact service. We are well-trained, credentialed professionals, and yet the beauty and power of our model is its focus on relationship, on encounter with another person. We seek to walk with a person or family and affirm their dignity, helping them navigate out of crisis into stability and eventually to thrive. It may take weeks or months or even years, but we know how to do it, and we do it so well. In the Gospel of Luke chapter 10, Jesus sums up his teachings as this: love God and love your neighbor. That inextricable connection between God and our neighbor should more than give us pause. It should knock us right out of our comfort zone. How can we say we love God if we don't have love for our neighbor? That's just not possible, according to Jesus. In another climactic gospel passage, Matthew chapter 25, Jesus specifically tells us that we can find him there waiting for us in the, quote, least of our brothers and sisters. Those here at Catholic Charities we call our community's most vulnerable. To accomplish our mission, it takes a healthy, well-managed organization with a bold vision, a team with genuine passion for the God-given mission we've received, access to resources and relationships, parishes, communities, church organizations with ongoing support, and individuals and families who choose to invest in our work, people who value the social profit that we achieve together, which enhances the whole community. So we've got almost everything it takes. In some cases, we just need you. So what or who brought you here today? Maybe you're here as a Catholic or a Christian and you find deep alignment with your closest held religious beliefs. Maybe you're here as a person of another faith and you recognize God coming to us in these shared sacred moments with those in need. Or maybe you're here as a person of goodwill who just embraces the notion of justice that calls us to care for our needs of our neighbors, especially the less fortunate. Whatever or whoever your reason, I want you to know how much we appreciate and welcome your support. We're all here because we care, because we're blessed, and because we feel called to make a difference. So thank you for being here today. On the journey that's led me here, I've learned that the people that serve and the people with whom I serve are my brothers and sisters. Truly my brothers, truly my sisters. We are the family of God. And as you will experience, the people we serve here are your brothers and sisters too. Catholic Charities is 84 years young. We're really only just beginning. So as we roll out our newest video now, please know I'm grateful to you for coming to learn more about Catholic Charities this morning. May God richly bless you. Thank you.